In this video, I'm going to talk about the basics of the painting techniques that you can do uh, in Stipple. Most of the technique videos so far, I've skipped I've skipped the start menu altogether and just jumped in with the start drawing. But here I'm going to actually use the start menu. So first, I'm going to load in a picture. We'll use this weird one of me when I was in a band. Okay, so right here where it says mode, draw and paint, I'm going to select paint, and you'll see that the dot color now becomes the source image. And for the background, let's do black. I like black. And then we'll hit start drawing. And I'm going to reposition this. And you'll see when I start to draw on the screen, instead of using monotone or one color dots, the image is being drawn. Uh, the dots, the dot color is referencing the source image altogether. So when we hide the source image, it's though we are painting the our image as opposed to drawing it. Um, Now, one thing that I need to mention is that on the start menu, and I'm going to go back. I'll go to the start menu to show you in a second. But in the start menu, it says draw mode or paint mode. When you're in the canvas, you don't have those options, but those features still exist by loading an image to your color map. You'll see that you have draw image, color map, mask, and background. In the color map section itself, if we load an image into color map, then it is being painted, or it's referencing that the image loaded into the color map, because you can both use a color map and a draw map at the same time. So if we were to pick a different image, how about this guy? And so we can get the same painting functions. That looks pretty good. We can get the same painting functions on the canvas as we can from that start menu. The start menu is just kind of simplified. Um, Again, this is the test version, so I'll probably try to explain that a little bit better just through the interface itself. All right, so now I'm going to discuss some techniques you can do. When you start painting, if you use a really big dot size, if you move your max dot size and your min dot size way to the right, you'll draw the image in very big dots. So much so that you can hardly you really can't even tell what the source image is altogether. But now as you change the dot size, you start to pick up more and more detail. So this creates an interesting effect by going from big dots to small dots. We'll get to the small dots in a second, and we'll be able to see the motorcycle rider, but he is his detail is coming out of these these larger and larger dots. This is a I think this is pretty cool. Now, if you take your dot size down very small, you'll just be basically painting your source image right onto the canvas itself. All right, so, well, this is pretty cool. We can make it even cooler, and I'm going to bring that dot size back up again and trash my canvas. Um, all right, so now if we open up the color menu, now the color isn't being used at all. We can switch this to anything, and we're still referencing our paint mask. I should probably do something in the interface itself to show you that the color is no longer being selected, but it's just me working on it. Cut me some slack. Um, all right, so if we drop the opacity down and we drop the hardness down, we get these very soft cloudy dots. And if you watch the cloud drawing video, you'll see that this is very similar, except that now this is being painted like like our source image, as opposed to just being drawn in dots. So as I use the same technique that I showed you before with decreasing the dot size, we get this very cloudy, soft, almost watercolor, but I mean watercolor if you had a brush that only put perfect circles down. But um you'll see that we get a pretty nice effect going on here when we do it this way. And I'm going to keep dropping the dot size down. And then what I like to do here to just kind of finish it off is if you actually increase the opacity while your dot size is very small. What's going on here? Then we get that finished, perfect photographic look, but it blends perfectly into our less detailed look, our less detailed dots. So I think that wraps this lesson up. I usually don't use the paint technique just by itself, uh, but I bet you guys can do some real cool stuff with it.